Welcome to Your Thoughts, Your Reality with Michael Cole, the podcast that shines a compassionate light on the journey of veterans battling through life's challenges. Michael is a dual elite certified neuroencoding specialist in coaching and keynote training presentations, dedicated to guiding military veterans as they navigate the intricate pathways of post-deployment life. Join him as we delve into the profound realm of neuroencoding science, empowering these brave individuals to conquer universal battles, procrastination, self-doubt, fear, and more. Together, let's uncover the strength within you to re-engage with families and society, forging a new path forward.
Hello, everybody. So today we have a return guest, my friend Gina Iovino. Gina is a functional nutrition coach specialist and dual elite neuroencoding specialist. Gina works with Project Refit and Guardians of Valor. She takes a holistic body and mind approach to help her clients lose weight and live healthier lives, which is amazing. And that's why we keep bringing her back. Gina is fantastic. Absolutely. Thank you. With three brothers who are Marines, Gina is a personal connection and deep passion for supporting veterans and first responders. And we can touch base on that as well. So Gina, people that aren't familiar with you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, I love that introduction. So thank you so much, Michael. You did that so well. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I right now I'm kind of niching down a little bit more into a specialty. I do help all women who are trying to lose weight and live healthier lifestyles, not only for themselves, but for their families. But just recently now, because things are changing a little bit, we're seeing a lot more people that are pre-diabetic and diabetic. So I've kind of switched a little bit more over into that niche because I think it's very severe that we kind of get on this understanding of if we fall into that category, that we really need to take a look at what we're doing as far as our lifestyle, because it's going to set us up for other things that we don't want later in life. One of those leading into heart disease, and then we know type 3 diabetes, which is Alzheimer's. So I'm very, very a huge advocate, as you know, for brain health as well. So it's become a passion of mine to really be speaking out about that topic and issue.
Fantastic. Love it. So, Gina brought up just before we went on here, she's like, let's change some stuff up. So we are going to talk about some other things that weren't planned because, stay tuned for next week. We're going to dive in deep for talking about apps and technology and how that can help you with your nutrition goals, if you will. So I'd like to talk about, your personal connection a little bit more with military, with your brothers, and the unique challenges you've observed yourself, especially working with Project Refit and so on, that veterans face when transitioning to civilian life, with nutrition specifically.
Yeah. Well, if you can kind of, first of all, I want to say I'm wearing my red today. Today is Red Friday. We're remembering those that are deployed. So for those of your listeners that are listening, if you have a loved one right now that is active or overseas, we are not only thinking about you, but we are thinking about them as well. And I would say, that transition, coming out, I can just remember from experience with my brothers, right? They're coming home. They wanted to kind of get back into a life that they kind of remembered before they left. And so they were hanging out with friends. They were eating a lot of things. They were doing excess drinking, and those kind of things. And so, I think when we come home, it's kind of like we haven't had things for a long time. So I think what we tend to see is there's like overindulgence.
Right.
Well, we kind of go overboard. And there also is too, though, I feel really bad because there is no middle ground. It's not like you leave and then you check in somewhere for a little bit and kind of go over the ropes of what there is. And that's why I love, Michael, that you're doing this, because you're becoming the middle ground for these veterans and those that are even transitioning out from a life of the military into civilian life, of having a place where they can come and ask questions and say, I don't quite understand what I need to do, because I haven't been there, but I can only imagine of being put in a position and then kind of being put in a whole new realm and world and then saying, see you later, go for it.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah, it's tough. And I see the same story over and over again. I mean, everybody has their unique challenges, obviously, but the transition story is very similar across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Male, female, it's just like you said. You get out and you're going, And
Yep.
so you're just trying to figure it out the best you can, so that's
And
that's
you're
the
a
part
whole new,
why I'm passionate about what I do.
yep. And you're a whole, first of all, you're a whole new person.
Oh yeah.
Second of all, really, you're in a whole new atmosphere. And some of these people that do go in the military, they go into the military because the environment they were previously in wasn't a good one. So they go somewhere where there's more stability, there's structure, someone was helping guide them into a better direction, and then they leave and then they go back into these communities or their support systems where they don't have that leadership anymore.
Yeah,
So I can
absolutely.
see where it's very, very challenging. So being able, like someone like you, Michael, with what you're doing, what we're doing with Project Refit is a great place to be and start to getting some of that, some of those things addressed.
Absolutely. And thank you, first of all, for saying all that. Can you talk a little bit more, just briefly, about Project Refit and Guardians of Valor?
Yes. So Project Refit, our mission is that we want to combat isolation on and offline. It's bringing people together, communities, veterans, first responders, and their families, okay? Because we want to bridge that gap too. It's just not a veteran or first responder problem. This is a family dynamic. And so we want to bring everybody together. And what is really beautiful about Project Refit is we have what's called fire teams. I am my own fire team that I started because Project Refit is, it's in Jersey, but that doesn't mean that you can't have your own Project Refit in your community, which is what I'm doing. I live in Indiana. And so I started my own fire team, which is called Guardians of Valor. And so I get to host events. I can do different types of community service. One of the things that we do to help with combating isolation is we have what's called fireside chats, which is really wonderful. Yes. And so it's being able to bring in veterans, first responders, their spouses, family members, all coming together to be able to sit in a community setting where no one is judged and we're all there to support one another and talk through these feelings and these issues that are coming up so we can work through them and not pack them down and, and kind of, I guess, in a way, kind of regurgitating in other parts of our lives that have a negative impact.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's truly fantastic, these groups that you're involved in, and they just do so much. And I'm super excited to be helping promote that as well. So
Yeah, thank you.
thank you for
Yeah.
what you're doing out there.
And today, so for those of you that want to jump on the Guardians of Valor Facebook group, you can go on there. That's absolutely free to be in there. Today, we actually discussed, because this month for June, it's PTSD Awareness Month. Yes. And so with that, James, which is he's one of the co-founders of Project Refit, he said, we need to bring back out, they did this before, they wanted to bring it back for June, which is called the Grateful Challenge. And with doing the Grateful Challenge, you have a way of participating, whether through donation. And basically what we want to do is, especially around emotions and things that come up around not only PTSD, but with isolation, right? There's a lot of negative feelings that come with that. So what a great way to flip it and have this grateful challenge. It's 20 days and waking up every single day, posting on social media what you are grateful for, right? We're kind of switching that thought process, putting us in a different state and looking at the glasses half full as we start every single day.
Love it. I love that. Unfortunately, I know. I was just going to say, unfortunately, I missed it. But send me a link or something,
Yeah.
please. I'll
Yep.
definitely jump
James
in.
hops back on. We talk about it. You could go on Project Refit too, and you can look for Grateful Challenge, and you can get going with doing that and sharing it with your family and your friends, and
That's
it's a great
fantastic.
way. Yeah.
And the more it spreads, the better it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
changing the world with
Yeah.
gratefulness. I'll tell you what. When you get out of bed in the morning and you just think of the first thing of, hey, I woke up, I'm on the right side of the dirt. You start there, and here's your gratefulness for the day.
Yes.
And put that smile on your face, get those good hormones going, changes your day to start, and you keep that gratefulness. So I love that, and I will definitely be part of it, Gina.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And the
So
neuroscience that goes behind it. Dr. Daniel Amen says the first thing when you wake up, that is the first thought that comes in. So you either can have the thought of, I'm going to have a really great day, or if you don't have that thought, you're having a really great day, and you get up and you think of all of these things that you have to do, or, oh my gosh, that's just going to set you for the rest of the day of having a miserable day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I guess I got to share, and I shared this on a podcast recently, but I have to share it with you. So, Joseph McClellan III, he wakes
Yeah.
up in the morning and he puts a big old smile on his face, and he's like,
Yeah.
"What great things are going to happen to me today?" So, I do something very similar, and I start laughing at myself. So, you automatically start all the good hormones doing that, right?
Mhm,
Because when
mhm.
you sit there and you're all just wake up with this big goofy smile on your face, getting up out of bed, and you can't help but feel good. You really can't.
Right.
It's an amazing tool that I learned from him. So, try it, guys. Try it. Um, I'm getting so many messages right now. It's awesome. So let's move on to, if we can, and then we're going to get into the main reason we're going to talk today is key staples and nutrients, supplements, that kind of stuff. So before we do though, as a neurocoding specialist, how does your holistic body and mind approach in the nutrition and wellness specifically benefit veterans dealing with post-service adjustments?
Yeah. And that brings up a little bit too, I would say, just going this a little bit of a challenge here, in the fact that sometimes think it would be a little different in how we like approach of like what's exactly going, like how long have you been in for? I think that makes a little bit of a difference. Did you have to go overseas? I think that makes it a little bit different too of a challenge. But I would say anything just basic that anybody can do. Like one of the things is that you just mentioned, waking up every day and being grateful is a good
Mm,
way to neuro encode yourself to having a great day. I think the second thing is that we have this fabulous now platform of social media and all of these wonderful, amazing groups and communities that you can be a part of. So if you're someone that's coming out of the military and you feel like you need to have some kind of support, just start looking. All of the stuff will pop up for you. Join the one that fits the most for you. Um, and you know, I always say food equals communication. So if you want to communicate to yourself leaving and transitioning and having a great, wonderful life that you absolutely deserve, then you should fuel yourself with a few food that's going to communicate that to you as well.
I
So
love
being
that.
very mindful of that.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And, thank you for bringing me to that communication part and surrounding yourself in those groups. On the top right-hand corner, you see a blue QR code. Please scan that. It takes you to all the resources at empowerperformancestrategies.com. Again, empowerperformancestrategies.com for people that are listening to podcasts later. There are resources on books that I've written. There are Facebook groups for families and veterans separately. And I'm thinking maybe we get Gina Iovino in one of those Facebook groups, do a little training maybe later.
Yes, I love that. You don't have to wink. You don't have to wink at me. I'll just do it. You know me.
I love you, lady. You're awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
So I just popped into my head. I was like, do I put her on the spot like that? It's like,
You know
yeah,
what? That would actually be great because next week when we're talking about those apps that you can use, then I can go in the group too. I can post all that stuff on what the apps actually look like. And then I can give
absolutely
you also a resource, a shopping resource for the
fantastic.
grocery store. So let's, yeah, do that. When we're done, send me those links and I'll jump in.
Absolutely will. So let's jump in. So, do you want to talk about the apps, or do you want to start talking about the supplements and the staples you should have for good nutrition and so forth in your house?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think the apps are great. We're going to go into that next week. We're going to set you guys up so that way you can know exactly what we're going to be talking about, what those apps look like. You can start playing with them a little bit. So if you have any questions, I think it'd be a good way you can jump on while we're live and then ask us some questions while we're live. We're going to answer those for you. So maybe we'll save on that
Sure.
for that. But I think it'd be great if we did go into food and go into supplements too.
Okay, excellent. So I
That's
will
great.
ask you, Gina, if you will, if you can post in the comments later on, so people
Okay.
can get those and be
Okay.
ready to play next
Yep.
week. I know,
Okay.
I know, I'm going to do it. We don't teach theory, we do it ourselves. So I'll be there doing it with you guys. I'm excited for that. So if you could do that, for people that are listening, if it's possible, do you know the apps off the top of your head that so they could be for the podcast themselves that
Yeah,
can't see this
sure.
stuff?
So for off top of my head that I wanted to talk to you about was an app called Reverie, Reveri, and then the next one is Think Dirty. So I'll give you those two. Yeah.
Careful what you're searching, people.
Whoa, yeah.
Okay,
It
sounds
is and it isn't what you think. So that was totally fun, yeah. But I think those two would be a great one just to start with. They
okay.
both have great information, and we can really in 30 minutes get a lot out of that for those
Fantastic.
two.
And they are both on iOS and on Android?
Yes.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Okay.
Mhm.
So thank you for that information. So let's go ahead and move in. I'm going to just say, what do you want to discuss? There's my question as far as the supplements and the staples.
Yeah, I think when we are talking about like supplements and food, I always like even with my clients, I say don't buy anything yet. Don't buy anything as far as supplements because we don't even know what's going on with your body. And if you're taking in stuff that your body does not need, that's more filtration that your body has to go through and can actually cause more harm to try to get it out of your system. Another thing is too, you can't always believe what's in the store of what you're purchasing. You do have to do some research to make sure the quality of what you're putting in your body is going to be beneficial and where it's sourced from, where it comes from. So I always just say, just hold off on that stuff because we want to, which I truly believe, I love from Dr. Daniel Amen, from learning from him, is we don't know unless we look.
Right.
Let's start there. So I would say with supplements, let's just wait on the supplements. If you do want to take supplements, that's why we're going to talk about the Think Dirty app. There's a way that we can scan certain things to see
Mm,
the quality of those products. So that's always a good thing. Go to your doctor, get your blood work. I think that's something everyone should get done, especially those that are transitioning out. Let's see where you're
okay.
at, where your hormone levels are, how are you functioning? Let's do that.
Are there certain tests specifically and understand Gina is not a physician, medical doctor. This
Yeah.
is just from her experience. Disclaimer now,
Mhm.
but she's fantastic. So are there certain tests that we should be looking at to get from your doctor?
Yes, yes. Well, a regular panel is great. We also want to check what's going on with insulin. Okay.
Mhm.
Your fasting insulin, that's going to help us um, to see, how you're regulating, the sugars that are coming in. Thyroid is another one that we're seeing really huge with men and women too. It's not just for women. This is, help. This autoimmune condition happens with men too as well. I think thyroid is extremely important to get that done. And now too in doctors' offices, which is really great, they have what's called in-body scanners. Now,
Mm,
usually when we jump on a scale because we want to lose weight, right? So we get on a scale, we see a number, and we just want to get that number lower. But really, there's a lot more that goes into understanding what makes up fully of the weight. So getting on an in-body scan will tell you how much body mass you have. It'll tell you how much fat mass you have on your body, what's your bone structure look like. So that way we have a bigger picture of moving forward when we're losing weight. What numbers do we need to change and what do we need to switch?
I love that. Is it doctors readily available, or are there other places you can go to have that scan done?
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes now too, in the places where you go in your fitness facilities in your community are starting to have them now, which is great. You can get them there. You can also buy one at the store.
Mhm.
So that was another app that I was going to kind of go over and show you guys next week. But you can get these scales at home. They come with apps, so you can be tracking these measurements as well.
Absolutely. So, and everybody, again, personal opinion here. So, not a doctor. Blah blah blah. But the BMI isn't. That's a very general information. It depends on your muscle mass.
Yes.
All these different things. So, just be careful about reading into that and the scale too much. So, I love
Mhm.
what Gina brought up because it tells you the whole story. It's not just telling you the general public in the across the world. The
Yes.
study that was done, I don't know, the 50s or 60s, I don't know when it was, so don't quote me on that, of course, but that's fantastic information, Gina. Thank you.
Yeah. And another part of that too, which is really helpful, is it will not only give you, like you said, the BMI, which is your body mass index, but also the BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. We want to know how your metabolism is using energy in the form of calories. And everybody is a little bit different there based on how much muscle mass that you do or don't have. So that also gives us a starting point. Calories aren't everything, but really when you're trying to be healthy and see which direction you're going to go, it's nice to see what kind of fuel that your body is burning on a daily basis. And some people go into like, I don't get it. I can't lose weight. And then we find out, well, you're not even eating for your body. So it gives us that number 2.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
excellent, excellent. So, and it's important calories, the quality of calories too.
Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And Gina, we talk a little bit about that just because some people won't understand what that means.
Sure. I love this one. I think we might have said this before, so if I did, sorry, but I just love giving the comparison of, we all could sit down with a bag of chips, right? We're watching something before we know it. I mean, that whole bag could be gone, and we still don't even feel full,
Right.
right? Because it trips, those centers in our brain that tells us that we're satiated and we don't need to have any more. But we're not going to sit down with like 7 baked potatoes and eat them all. We probably might get through 1 or 2, but you're going to start to get really full from that because it's natural. Your body recognizes, what it is, and it'll tell you that you're full and you don't need to eat anymore. Um, so yeah. So
Yeah,
I would say, yeah, yeah,
fantastic. So, please continue. Do you wanna talk more about the staples that are
yeah.
really important? And yeah, please.
Yeah. So let's go back to some of the staples. One of the things I will say, if you are going to do anything as far as supplements, now a lot of us are not getting in those omega 3s
Mhm.
because a lot of us aren't eating enough fish and the quality of fish to get in those omegas. Our brain loves omegas, and we have tons of fat in our brain that keep us healthy and strong. So if you do want to supplement, I will say with those, again, to make sure that you're looking at the manufacturer for that. I know one thing that I was taught is, if you are taking fish pills and you notice that you're belching a lot and it's tasting, it could be that those pills are rancid, that the oil has tainted in it, and that might be a reason why you're belching. I love from Dr. Daniel Amen. You can go on his supplement line. He has a fabulous, I mean, my kids love it too. It's called Omega Squeeze. It tastes like oranges. You can take a tablespoon of that a day. I will make smoothies and shakes with it and drizzle it on top of my smoothies and shakes. It's absolutely delicious. But that is a great way. If you are going to supplement, that I will say that is probably the most important supplement to grab.
Excellent.
And then the next thing when it comes to food is, I know people don't like to hear this, but it's going back to the basics, right? If you could
Tell
do,
tell 'em what they don't wanna hear, but they
yeah,
need to hear, Gina. Tell them what they don't wanna hear, but they need
I
to hear.
know, I know. And if you really could do one thing, stay away from processed foods that have hugely high, vibrant colors. Because the more vibrant the color, the more chemicals just naturally are going to be in there.
Interesting.
Like these, I don't know, can I say flaming hot Cheetos on here? But
Okay.
like with those, I mean, the red dye that goes into all over those Cheetos. And if you're someone that already is experiencing ADHD, that's not going to help you function and be, cognitively sharp all day. That's going to make you
Wow.
all over the place. There's also too like a lot of blue dyes and stuff. We've got yellows, and all of these are just chemically made, and that they just misfire the wiring and the thinking process in our brain, especially for kids too. Kids already are not even fully developed, and then we're giving them tons of food products that have high dyes in them, and then we wonder why they're bouncing off the walls, why they can't finish their homework, why they can't sit still, why they can't concentrate, why they don't like to read. Well, we
Right.
need to start extracting some of these chemicals.
So, I'm big on get rid of the boxes, make fresh food. I think it's a game changer, you
Hmm.
know? So what other, staples would you say you want to have in the house, not the Cheetos?
Yeah. You know what? There are great companies out. One of the companies that I really love, it's called Simple Mills.
Mhm.
They're more of an organic, natural. So if you do got to have something that is packaged and is processed, you can get it. They have great crackers. They actually just came out with now. I just tested them the other day. They're really fun and delicious. They're kind of like their goldfish version of a cracker. It's a puff and it tastes really good. And honestly, you can have a serving of that and feel satiated because
Interesting.
again, it's all natural products in there. Whereas if I sat down and I ate goldfish, I probably could keep taking handfuls and handfuls and handfuls, right?
Yeah.
With
It
it.
it's
So
interesting how they sell so much. Weird, because 'cause you're
yeah,
eating by the handfuls.
yes, yes. So you will pay a little bit more, but you are going to be aware of your portion sizes, and you're not going to be tempted to keep eating and eating and eating with
Yeah.
those kind. Hmm.
With something like that, and I'm not super familiar. I know the brand, but I'm not so familiar with all their products. So the ingredients are higher quality, I'm assuming.
Yes, and you can read all the ingredients.
Yeah.
You can read
Weird.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, if
I
you can't.
also love it too because they're so versatile. Like if you even want to say like you want to make muffins for your kids, they have a banana muffin mix, which is absolutely delicious. And you can change those up. I show my clients how to do that. Maybe one day you don't want to make muffins. Maybe you're going to turn those into pancakes. We just thin the batter out a little bit more, and then now you can make banana muffin pancakes one day for breakfast. You can make a loaf with it. There's so many different ways that you can use the same product, but just prepare it differently to have different types of either treats or sweets or stuff to go along with your lunches, your dinners.
Excellent.
It's really great,
Excellent.
yeah. And they have a
And
cupcake mix. I mean, that's really good. A chocolate one, absolutely delicious.
I feel like we're gonna have a session with you in your kitchen one time.
I know, I would love to do that. Yeah, come cook with me kind of session where we take something and transition it. That's one of the things I love to do too, is I understand, we buy all this stuff from the store, and my biggest thing is not wasting anything.
Mm,
So I love to show my clients how to take a meal and keep transitioning it, or how to freeze it and then pull it out and combine it with other meals. So that way you're not only saving time, you're saving money, and you're not wasting.
yeah, absolutely. My aunt just popped up. And just so you know, she's been putting some medical stuff on here. She is a retired nurse, just
Yeah.
so you know.
Oh, hi
Yeah.
Shirley.
So, so with your cupboards, for instance, and I know we're getting low on time here, but so with the staples. So you've given us a couple of tips, and I love the idea of meal prepping, so it is easier for everybody as well. Any thoughts on the staples to have just for meal prep? You can take a roast, for instance, an organic, roast, and make 5, 6 meals depending on the size of your
Mhm,
family, lunches,
mhm.
all those things, because that keeps you from doing what? Going and eating the bad crap that you just say, oh, that's easy. So if you can do that, it really changes the game, and it has for Susan and I for sure. So any tips or thoughts there?
Yes. One of the stores I love to shop at is like one of the stores like a Costco, Sam's Club, somewhere where you can buy a lot of your fruits and vegetables in bigger quantities because you're also going to save money there.
Yes.
There's so much that you can do with an organic bag of carrots. Like you said, you could do a stew. You can chop them up small. You can make sticks for your kids. You can make chips for dip. So I always like to make sure that we're buying things like that in bulk, and then we're prepping those things in bulk differently so that we have a variety.
Absolutely.
Um, you know, and people think too that that vegetables have to be fresh, but they don't. One of the best ways actually to get vegetables is to buying them frozen, because when they're picked right in that moment, they're frozen, which holds all the nutrients in compared to something fresh that's put on a truck. It gets delivered, it sits in the store, and it loses some more of that nutrient. So if you can buy frozen and stock up on frozen, do that.
Excellent, excellent, and it's not gonna go bad. That's the one
No.
thing that I know Susan and I struggle with, is we buy, all this amazing fruit, vegetables, and it gets delayed, and then all of a sudden, you're throwing something out, which kills us,
Mhm.
just kills us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then the same thing with meat, right? Is cook it, package it in a couple of freezer bags, label it, date it, and put it in there. It's amazing how if you do that, and with the vegetables that you just brought up, you can literally pull out a meal in 8 seconds and you know heat it up and be ready to go. Not eight
Yeah.
seconds, literally, but
But another quick tip to the meat too. I know right now it's pretty expensive, right? And we want to go a little healthier because we know whatever we ate, we're eating it too.
hmm
So if you want that to spread like I do, okay, I have 5 kids, there's 7 of us to feed. So sometimes, that steak can be expensive. So sometimes if I do like a beef stew, I'll also throw in, beans and lentils are also a great
hmm
source of protein that you can throw in. So
absolutely.
your protein always doesn't have to be 100% from an animal source. You can also get it from those lentils, legumes, and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you do meat again, because it's expensive, like you said, you can do. Susan and I do it all the time. We do a amazing salad, and it
Yeah.
can have eggs. It can have different proteins in that as well, and can be made fairly quickly. She'll do a
Mhm.
tri-tip that's just, and the air fryer is just out of this world, and it feeds us for 3 days,
Yeah.
so, yeah, fantastic. Well, my friend, it is time.
Oh, sure.
So Gina, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can follow me and get a hold of me on Instagram at Gina Will Show You. I'm also on LinkedIn on Gina Iovino. Same thing with Facebook. You can find me there, Gina Iovino. And my company is Health and Mindset Revolution.
Fantastic. So, and as always, you know what we do. 3 tips to get veterans further faster.
Okay, 3 tips. One is grab a buddy. I'm going to say that right
Mhm.
now. Grab a buddy. You're coming out. You need a buddy, somebody that has been here, might know the ropes in your area, can help you, maybe finding jobs or resources or an apartment, whatever it is. Grab a buddy and latch onto them first. The second tip is go to the grocery store, stock up in your house so that way you're not tempted to want to go to fast food places, or you're going to go meet your friends maybe at the bar to have a couple drinks, but then you're not sitting there and overindulging too as well. And then the third thing is, and maybe people might not want to hear this, but give some
Oh,
time to yourself to put this away, right? To put it away. And now that you're home, really spending quality time with the relationships and the people that are around you, because that is just in so many ways going to be so beneficial for you. So really, really doing that, because that's going to help you with combating your own sense of isolation, your purpose, where you belong, and what your purpose moving forward is.
fantastic. Yeah, be present. Take a
Mhm.
minute. Be present. It's amazing how fulfilling that really is when you look back and you're like, wow, that was fantastic.
Mhm.
So thank you for the tips, and everybody, we are out of here.
Thank you for joining us on another insightful journey of Your Thoughts, Your Reality podcast with your host, Michael Cole. We hope the conversation sparked some thoughts that resonate with you. To dive deeper into empowering your thoughts and enhancing your reality, visit empowerperformancestrategies.com. Remember, your thoughts shape your reality, so make them count. Until next time, stay inspired and keep creating the reality you desire. Catch you on the next episode.